Hey, what's going on? So, Google search algorithm, how does it work? How will it always work? This is going to be a real broad video. I definitely encourage you to subscribe to the channel if it does you any good as far as like trying to understand conceptually how Google works their search, all of their search algorithms. And I'm talking about YouTube, the Google search itself, how do all these things work? Bottom line is this. Google wants to serve the best content it has available to the user to satisfy their query. What does that mean? It means if somebody asks a question, they prefer to give them the direct answer. That's why you're seeing so many knowledge graphs, which is that box you see at the top of the search results. Sometimes if you ask a question, sometimes they just serve up the kind of content. They'll ask a more shallow question, and that content will be thinner, just getting directly to the point. Now, if you ask a real in-depth question, they're going to be serving up long-form content unless you're on a mobile device. And you're like, well, why is that? Well, think about it. Okay, so if you're on your phone, do you want to endlessly scroll through the search results, reading 8,000 words worth of content? No, of course not. You're on your phone. You want to get to the information quickly. So the knowledge graph's a quick way to do that. If they don't have an answer, they're going to serve up shorter articles. And I realize that goes against the conventional thinking for a lot of SEOs. Totally understand. But you have to understand that's why Google built a mobile index as well as a desktop index. The mobile index is to serve web pages that more properly suit the query of a mobile user. Google understands that if you're on your desktop, you're going to be looking for more in-depth research type content. If you're on your phone, you don't have the time to read 12,000 words or whatever it may be. And they know that, so they serve up shorter content. It just makes sense, right? Same thing with YouTube. Okay, if somebody is at home on their Apple TV, it makes sense for Google to feature longer videos, okay, because they're on their TV. But if they're on their phone and Google has previous user history that indicates that when a certain user is on their mobile device, they prefer shorter videos, those are the type of results that Google will feature. You have to keep in mind, Google has trust that they've earned over the years. And if they don't retain that user trust, then people will stop using their services. And that's the death of their company. And they don't want that. So they're going to look at your device. What type of content makes sense for your device? Then they're going to look at your user account, your Google account, and say, okay, what type of content historically does somebody look at on a desktop versus their phone? And then moving on from that, they're going to look at the query. A query is what you type into the search bar. So if you type a lot of questions, they're going to serve you a lot of answer-based content that's probably shorter, particularly on your phone. If you start looking for more in-depth content, particularly if you're on your desktop, that's the type of content that Google is going to serve to you. At the end of the day, Google realizes their place on the internet, which is a portal to other content. They are merely a go-between. In the case of YouTube, yes, they host that content, but they realize that's not their content. They are serving it to you. So they're going to look at all of the things that they have, all the information they have on you, and serve you that type of content, or the type of content that best serves your immediate needs. And once you understand that, particularly as a content developer, as somebody who writes a lot of content or produces a lot of video content, you can begin to understand how to create your content to serve that end user. Think about it. If you are creating content that answers a query that somebody might have when they're standing in the middle of a store, then write your content appropriately or create your video content appropriately for that need. Now, on the other hand, if you're creating the type of content that somebody is going to have when they're sitting in front of their iMac at home or when they're watching their Apple TV, then also create your content to serve that purpose. It's just, you have to create content that makes sense for the user. And as long as you do that, you are going to put yourself in a position to win. So thanks so much. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.